Yeah, I think, like you say, there's not as much one-day cricket between major events. I think that makes those series even more important. So, certainly for us as a group, it's an exciting format. A few of us have been playing some of the list day cricket back home, so we have got a bit of the 50-over format under our belt. But, it's a format that we enjoy playing, and it's, like you say, when you have those series now, they are more important than ever with limited amount. We're certainly looking to make the most of these opportunities as a team, certainly with an eye towards obviously next year. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the challenge when you come over here, and certainly as a young group, but even as an experienced group, is when you play against players who have played that much cricket. Someone was saying some of the stats, the numbers around how many games and runs they've scored versus our team. I think that's anytime you play, you're going to learn from players like that, and that's a challenge that we knew coming into the series, but also to see it firsthand in the first game. And I think the way the guys adapted, certainly from a bowling point of view, bowling to those guys, and I guess finding ways to try and put them under pressure. And I think we saw a little bit of that towards the end of the one day, that if we are able to do some of those things, even as in an experienced side, then the nature of cricket is that if you're able to take wickets, you're able to put teams under pressure. So I'm certainly proud of the way the guys in the second innings with the ball managed to get us a chance back into the game, and that's going to be moving forward as well, the challenge of how do you build pressure on these surfaces against such good players. But I did see him do that for his team in New Zealand, the T20 format. So I'm not sure whether you'll see it. He's certainly someone who obviously the way he works on his game, and you see that in the field as well. The things he does is certainly like no one else. So I wouldn't be surprised if he sees it. You see him bring it out at some point. But he's certainly an X-factor player that whatever he's doing, batting, bowling or fielding, it's hard to miss him. So he's certainly impressive. Yeah, like I say, I think from a batting point of view anyway, that we did a lot of things pretty well, and I think it's a case of us being able to do them for a bit longer. Devon and I's partnership at the top is, if one of us is able to bat for an extended period of time, and I think that's always the case of one-day cricket. If you're able to have wickets in hand, have a set batter in, I guess, through to the last 10 overs, then it certainly, I think, extends your death period, and able to, like you say, if we could have got a bit above 300, Daryl did fantastically well with some of the lower order to get us to 300, but I think if we were able to have wickets in hand for a bit longer, and then that total, and on these grounds as well, which if you are able to have two guys who are in with some of the shorter boundaries, you're able to put that score up. And so I think, like I say, we did a few things really well, and it's a case of just doing them for a bit longer and being a little bit better. I think we'll push our total up higher. So I think we saw probably at the end of our innings, the ball was obviously quite a lot darker and probably a lot softer as well, which can make it harder to get away. And I assume that's sort of why they brought the rule in terms of choosing one ball to I guess make it a little bit harder around the death stages. So I think that's certainly something to keep in mind. If you're in a batting team and you're on top, then maybe it won't be as easy right at the end to score as much. So whether you need to say adjust the way you play to sort of maybe take it on a little bit earlier, but I think that'll be certainly something to monitor throughout the series. Yeah, I think certainly that it could be something to look at. I say if you are going pretty well through that late 20s period of knowing that if the ball's going to get softer when they choose the ball at 34, then it does make it harder to score boundaries, certainly at the death. So I think if you're in the position to do that, that is certainly be an option that I'm sure both teams will be looking at, to put bowlers under pressure earlier than I guess waiting till later on when the ball's softer and harder to get away. Yeah, absolutely. I think for the guys to be put under that pressure, and obviously the partnership that Virat and Gill had was put us under a lot of pressure, and they batted fantastically well. And I think for the guys to come back, someone like Kyle, who has been around for a while, but to I guess lead from the front to give us a chance of getting back into that game, I think that's the moving forward, give the guys confidence. And I guess for us over here, it's about for the new guys is understanding that it is a tough challenge, but also what we do and how we operate is trying to make it as hard as possible for the Indian team. And if they're good enough to play good shots and to get the good scores, and if we're able to focus on what we're doing, I think we saw the other night in one-day cricket, if you're able to take wickets through the middle, then pressure can build. And I think we saw that towards the back end, that if we're able to do that a little bit early with the ball, or if we had a few more runs, then that would have put us in a really good position. But I think just proud of the efforts from the guys to keep hanging in there. In tough conditions, when two guys get in on a good wicket, it's a very tough challenge with four guys out in one-day cricket.